athletes and bodybuilding fans around the world. Welcome to another Primetime Muscle. I'm Tim Wilkins, joined by Tarek El-Guindy, one of the biggest judges in the sport.
Great to be here, Tim. Fantastic to be here with Chris Cormier.
Chris is looking like a NASCAR today. He's got his sponsors all over him.
Yeah,
It's a tale of two wolves. That's all I gotta say. A tale of two wolves.
There it is right there. You've even got wolves on your shoes.
On the shelves. Pay game.
The real deal, Chris Cormier.
Yeah.
Always good to have you.
Thank you, brother.
Guys, you know, we're very proud to be the show that covers all divisions, and we've got a battle heating up heading into the Olympia this year. Lauralie Chapados has been just chomping at that bit, wanting that title so bad. Jennifer Dorie, and these two definitely. You say there's bad blood.
Well, I gotta say that they're you know, we joke around, but first of all, they're very competitive, but they're friends. They're really good friends. Chris, myself, we like to create some hostility between them, but they're actually friends. I would say maybe there's tensions with other girls, but Lauralie and Jennifer Dorie are friends. Now, I don't think any of them would deny I want to win. And in order for Lauralie to win, Jennifer Dorie needs to lose, right? I don't think they deny that. Jennifer Dorie and Lauralie Chapados kind of came up to the sport in similar times. I think they turned pro 1 year apart from each other. They're both Canadian. The first one to come to the scene really strong was Lauralie Chapados, placing second to Angelica Teixeira in 2018. So everybody had their eyes on Lauralie Chapados being succession of Angelica Teixeira. And man, she came to the scene really strong, great, beautiful physique. She's tall, she has all that beautiful roundness, and she knows her body. I've seen her working out. I mean, she lifts heavy. She is really a great bodybuilder. And then for some reason, she couldn't quite nail in the end that final look. And it's been a couple of years now. So we're looking at Lauralie going, there has to be 1 year where she nails and she wins this whole thing.
Well, we talk about this. She's been an Arnold Classic champ for a couple times, which is usually a big bellwether for the sport in a lot of divisions. 3-time Arnold Classic champion that says, all right, you win that, you got a head of steam coming into the Olympia. There's an interesting thing, though, about Lauralie is the conditioning on the big show. Too hard, too soft, and the judging is so hard anyway. It's really the three bears. You know, are you too hard, too soft, or just right, depending on that judging that day.
Right. Well, I saw these two in New York, or Newark, New Jersey, last week, and I tell you, I know they both don't want a lot of competition, but I could see if you had two little pit bull puppies, red-nosed, nice breed pit bull puppies, and you rile them up enough, I think you can get a little bit out of them. Because they both want to win, and they both do not like to lose.
Chris is the Michael Vick of bikini, apparently.
Dang. Would like to communicate. I would like to communicate. We love animals in the show.
Yes,
we love animals.
For sure.
You know, we have dogs, and we love dogs,
We
and we
do.
love pit bulls, and we're not going to do anything to any of them, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Chris. Jennifer Dorie has won 2 Olympias. And in the meantime, Lauralie Chapados has kind of played with her conditioning and not nailed it. It feels like Lauralie Chapados' time is coming, but Jennifer Dorie might be peaking. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 1 and 2 at the Olympia. Lauralie Chapados has a chip on her shoulder because she has not won yet. And, you know, winning the Arnold, like you said, Tim, is a huge momentum. I've asked her, why do you think your performance at the Arnold is not the same as the Olympia? She goes, Tarek, I try to do all kinds of different things because it's the Olympia. I get a little bit over anxious about what's about to happen, and I change my strategy. I got to treat the Olympia the same way I treat every competition. I understand that's the biggest competition, that's the Super Bowl, but I have to come in relaxed. I have to come in with the mindset that I just need to do what I've been doing my whole life.
But they both have the look that the judges have been asking of them in the past few years. That's why I think this is going to be the show of all shows for both of those girls. And they both had to look down, and they both said they're getting ready for this thing like no other.
Well, let's take a look, Chris.
I'm just telling you, that's what they're saying.
All right, Tarek, as one of our top IFBB Pro League judges, walk us through this.
So, on this show here, you can say that Lauralie might be a little bit too conditioned. And what happens is her strength is her roundness. She has tremendous roundness. If she's over dieted, over conditioned, Lauralie loses a little bit of the fullness on the glutes, a little bit of the fullness on the upper body, which is her strength. Once she comes in full and she has the separation between hamstrings and glutes, she is very hard to beat. We look at Jennifer Dorie. Jennifer Dorie has also a fullness, maybe not as full as Lauralie when Lauralie has her 100% fullness. But in this show here, Jennifer Dorie presents the ideal fullness on the glutes. Ideal fullness. You can see there's more roundness here than Lauralie Chapados. Now, it's incredible. Ironically, Lauralie Chapados, if she has the total fullness, she can have rounder glutes than Jennifer Dorie. But this is bodybuilding. And in terms of bodybuilding, Jennifer Dorie has nailed her physique at the Olympia better than Lauralie Chapados. If Lauralie Chapados can bring the fullness to the stage, all of a sudden she's posing next to Jennifer Dorie, and the roundness of Jennifer Dorie is going against the roundness of Lauralie Chapados, and that could give an edge to Lauralie because she has tremendous roundness. Lauralie has been over-dieted, and when this one here, Jennifer Dorie, was a bit over-dieted, Maureen Blanquisco kind of got her. I believe Jennifer Dorie needs to do exactly what she's done last year. Not change anything. Do not do anything different. Lauralie has to do something different than she did last Olympia. Relax and bring the fullness.
But Lauralie this year at the Arnold she was a little bit more downsized from this look right here. So she said she wants to bring that same package into the Olympia this year, and I think the same for Dorie. She has it look down because she's not too hard, she's not too soft, and she's not too full. She's just perfectly the way she want to be.
No, let me throw a wrench into this whole operation. So we always talk about the improvements that one athlete needs to make and forget that all the other athletes are making those improvements. Isa Piccini has learned a lot since her Olympia win about coming in too conditioned and too dieted. Maureen Blanquisco had that perfect look 2 years ago. You got those two athletes, and then you got this year what seems to be the Ashley Kaltwasser style gold standard with 3 Pro League wins, Amy Lynn Delgado.
Amy Lynn Delgado won the USA's blue bikini a few years back, 2020. Now she's going in the red. What Amy Lynn Delgado has done is bring a level of fullness to her physique, which is very competitive. She won the Pittsburgh Pro, she won the New York Pro. But I want to go back a little bit to Lauralie Chapados because genetically she has something that most women in this world would love to have. Lauralie Chapados has incredible glutes. And sometimes when she goes a little bit too full, the glutes look a little bit too prominent. And maybe she's gotten a little paranoid and got, you know what, I can't go too full, I gotta relax, so otherwise my glutes are gonna overpower, and then she over diets. So it's that fine line that she has to find out so she can win the Olympia. Amy Lynn Delgado has been super consistent, and maybe that can give her an edge going to the Olympia. because we haven't seen Jennifer Dorie since her win. She's only done the Arnold. So when it comes time to the Olympia, these girls are going to be getting their prep. Her is going to be twice a year. Her is just once. Amy Lynn Delgado has been dieting, has been competing, has been winning. So she knows her body possibly better than these competitors. And that can give her an edge if they miss their peak.
Well, I think winning the third Arnold Classic is going to give you a big boost also. In the judges' eyes, you're a very powerful competitor, and we're just going to see.
Well, again, it is heating up to be quite the battle. This year's Olympia will have 4 or 5 previous Olympia winners, Arnold Classic winners, and everybody that is establishing themselves as powerhouses and viable contestants to take home that title. Guys, can't wait for this one. And we've got a lot of qualifying shows still on the way. Maybe Jay Brannon will qualify. We'll get a blonde up in that mix.
There's a lot of great competitors. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a lot of new faces in the top 5.
We shall see, and we'll see more on Primetime Muscle when we come right back. Journey through the various classes. Women's physique has a battle brewing between 2 Olympia champions who definitely want to keep and or retain that title. There's a battle at the top. And then, Tarek, we've added one more name, Zama Benta, to that mix. Let's talk about Natalia and Sarah first, and then we'll work in that wild card, if you will.
Absolutely. So, Sarah Viegas has 3 titles. Natalia Coelho has 1. And the year that Natalia Coelho beat Sarah Viegas, she had a tremendous performance at the New York Pro. It was the first time I saw the flaring quads on Natalia Coelho. And I said to myself, this is the year she has a shot at beating Sarah. She goes there, beats Sarah at the Olympia. Sarah was not at her best, and Natalia was at her best. I know Sarah Viegas. She is possibly the most competitive human being at the Olympia stage. When she lost to Natalia Coelho, she posted, people writing, you are not conditioned enough, you're not this enough. I am more conditioned than your favorite bodybuilder. And I know her husband, who's also her coach, they made a plan to win the following year Olympia. And not only did they do that, but she brought what I believe is the greatest women's physique body in the history of the category. No women's physique athlete has come close to what Sarah Viegas has done in 2023. The legs looked incredible. The entire physique looked perfect. I think she was better than Shanique Grant. I think she was better than Dana Lynn Bailey. She was better than Juliana Malacarne. She was the best competitor we've ever seen in the women's physique category. Looking at Natalia Coelho now, she has her work cut out. She hasn't competed as much, which means she can keep maybe the fullness on the legs. She's got to come in with the perfect condition and try to face this, colossus of a competitor, Sarah Viegas.
No, Natalia did 3 or 4 shows last year, Chris, including the one in Brazil, so her family could see her compete.
That's what I was going to say.
Tarek was the first one to say, I think she overcompeted and put herself out there too much and beat her body up.
Yes, and I made the same mistake, and it's hard to bring that same look or an improved look to the Olympia. You know, going to Brazil, going to, New York?
New York.
New York. You know, it was great to see an Olympian doing all this and, you know, doing it for the fans, doing it for your family. But it's going to take away from that shine that you're going to bring to the Olympia, and I think it took its toll on her at the Olympia. And Sarah, on the other hand, I said it before on Primetime Muscle. I was in the truck with her coming from Pittsburgh Airport to the hotel, and Ali, her husband, was just telling me, Chris, we invested a lot of money into making this next Olympia ours. We had, they doubled and quadrupled their gym and made that whole thing there in Texas a palace for a competitor, turned everything upside down, and piece by piece brought in the most consistent dieter. I mean, she diets year-round for this. I know also Natalia does also, but I'm just saying they were fuming. They did not like to lose that show, and they vowed to win that title, and that's just what she did.
Now, I don't disagree with you often. I thought last year was incredibly close. I thought 2 years ago when Sarah won, and she got into that side chest on almost that lunge. The men will stay upright and sit on that quad, on that hamstring. The women will tend to get a little lower. She has that one iconic pose where it is just, it's the muscle chart
like
from
shell.
the glute to it looks like a cyborg. It looks like one of those things you'd see with a robot with the perfect musculature. It was perfection.
Man, I'm the one that talks about rivalries and you gotta have that blood in your eyes to win. I don't think we would see this incredible physique of Sarah Viegas in 2023 if she hadn't lost in 2022. And in every category, we were just talking about Lauralie Chapados, Jennifer Dorie. Yeah, they're friendly, they want to win. I wouldn't say Natalia Coelho and Sarah Viegas are friendly, okay? They're going to shake hands on stage, and that's as much as they're going to go.
Not having sushi afterwards.
They're not going to have sushi.
You did an Olympia battle with them last year.
They faced each other, and they're like, hey, you said this about me in the internet. No, you said this about me in the internet. It was tense.
You needed an arbitrator. You didn't need a mediator.
And Dennis James was there. He did a great job. I am convinced, I know this for a fact, you are at your best when you have a great enemy. Michael Jordan, who's the greatest basketball player, every NBA Finals, he imagined an enemy opposed to him, and that triggered him to have a better performance. I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and I tell a lot of my students, if you were fighting for your life at home, you would have defeated 99% of the guys in this planet. But if you're here at the jiu-jitsu school just having fun, your performance won't be the same.
Well, let's look at, you added one more name to this list from Brazil, who now we're on the topic of jiu-jitsu, Zama Benta. Are we really, is she on par and could be a factor for these two incredible athletes?
Absolutely. What I like about her is the tiny little waist, and if there's one thing that she has, is the flaring quads, right? That's one thing that Natalia has fought very hard. She had it at the New York Pro. She had it when she won. This one here came right out of the package with quads. It's going to be very hard for us to see her deflated. And she has the small waist. She can add a little bit more size to go against those girls in the upper body? Yes. But she's a genetic marble, and she can make some noise.
These girls can bring it. I mean, you see Zuma, I think she can increase, the quad size a little bit, but also you can turk these poses a little bit and utilize those legs a little bit. She's utilizing her leg really good. You got a lot of pressure from the ball of the feet up into the sartorius muscle, which I like. Also here, Sarah and Natalia. Now, Sarah loves the arm pose, she got her trademark stuff going, but I mean the new girl that's going to challenge these two girls, I think she can bring a big package this year, and she might be fighting for second at least. But I still going to have to give the champion the title this year.
She came on stage. We're at the expo, and she came on stage. When she walked in, she got in the center, and she hit this leg shot here. When she hit this leg shot here, I said to myself, she's on point. There's fullness on the legs. And I knew Natalia would have to be at her best. Natalia wasn't at her best. And, and it's hard enough to beat Sarah when she's not at her best. If she's at her best, it's going to be very challenging. What Natalia Coelho has to do is to rest, get the legs going, come in at her best condition, and outpose Sarah Viegas.
Chris, you talk about the teardrop all the time, and that you don't see a lot of quad muscles that are down below the kneecap.
Right.
That is a full, unfeathered, unstrided, because you can't be too conditioned in women's physique.
Right.
I mean, it's just quality beef right there.
A lot
It's
of
beautiful.
Pain, a lot of pain going on.
But look at
these legs.
they call it a teardrop. It is a teardrop. It's cartoonish.
Actual
It's so perfect.
teardrop. Yes. And also from behind, these girls, when they turn around, that's when you're going to separate the best from the best. And that's why I think if the new girl, Zuma, she can improve her back, I think that's can get her the edge in fighting for a second or something like that. But I think Natalia, by not competing this year, and both of them is going to be in for a collision course for the title. And I think that's going to be the biggest difference from last year to this year.
And I wanna give praise to Olympia owner Jake Wood. I mean, listen, we just had, the Arnold, and if I could tell Arnold Schwarzenegger something as my man, you're our hero, but you're running a show without women's physique. I mean, these women are incredible, incredible. I want to watch them on stage. I really love this category. I'm passionate about it. I think we have a tremendous rivalry between Natalia Coelho and Sarah Viegas. We have this young competitor coming along. This is a champion, 3-time champion, telling everybody online, I'm more conditioned than your favorite bodybuilder. This is golden right here.
Well, we'll see where Zama ends up. She's also got to deal with Brooke Walker and Ivy Rain and Barbara Minaj if she's back. She's got some people at the top that she's going to have to hit up against to make it up to the pose down with these two champions.
Absolutely. It's going to be incredible.
Well, we'll see with them, and we'll see who else qualifies, see if we get some new faces in this mix that could challenge the top, and we will a little bit more challenging of other classes when we come back on Primetime Muscle. All right, it's time to go figure. Guys, there has been a rivalry now from the top 3 in the figure division. Sydney Gillen holding on to that title. First year for her show, Triple O Dynasty. She's up there and seems like unbeatable. But Jessica Reyes-Padilla and Lola Montez have just been inching their way up and getting closer each time.
Sydney Gillen has won 7 times. That is a dynasty. She wins one more time. She's right next to Linda Murray. She wins 3 more times. She's right there with Iris. She's dominated the class. One time I asked her, who has been your biggest rival during this dynasty? And she said, LaToria Watts, because I've lost to her. The issue here is simple. Sydney Gillen is so genetically gifted that it's hard to beat her. She's got that tiny, tiny little waist, a perfect V-taper. She nails her condition. She's never too hard or too soft. She's so consistent, and she is a master poser. A master poser. She's not there to just win the Olympia. She's there to teach everybody how to present a great physique.
Do you coach any figure competitors?
I tinker. I tinker with the
You're like
a few
Geppetto.
of the girls. Yes.
All right.
You know, I'm all for the girls in figure. They all know. You know, I mean, I've been in contact with all of these girls. Sid, she has her own style. She's like the Beyonce of figure. You know, so she comes out with her whole thing, whatever that is.
Can you
Something
do
like
it?
That was
Can
not
you do
bad.
it? Do it
No, I
right here.
cannot
That's pretty
do it.
good.
I
Come on,
cannot
Chris.
do it.
Come
That was
on,
good,
Chris.
Chris.
That's all I got. But she moves, you know, in a certain way, you know, her own style. A lot of girls try to mimic it and everything, but it's just hard to beat that look, you know. I've been talking to Jessica, and this is almost like a do or die year for Jessica. She feels like it's now or never, and she's putting everything she's got. She's already looking great. I saw her in Mexico City. I saw her in New Jersey, and it's the same thing. She's doing her work. She's getting her cardio in, even when she's traveling. She is hungry to get that title, and she feels like this is her year to do it. If she's ever going to do it, it is now.
Well, here's the question then, Tarek, because you know we've talked about this among the three of us quite a bit. So many people get off stage, they talk to the judges, what do I have to do, what do I have to do? And then no matter what the judges say, their mind says bigger. Their mind says bigger and harder and come back on stage. But for figure especially, this cannot be the case. What is going to put Jessica Reyes Padilla in that spot over a genetically gifted Sid Gillen?
You know, the thing that we spoke to Jessica Padilla about was, you know, if you minimize your waist, you can come pretty close to Sid, and she did that, man.
She has no waist.
She did that. I was like amazed when she came on stage. I said, Jessica might win this Olympia. The waist was smaller. She did it. She's just going against somebody that is so gifted genetically. I almost think
Let's look at it and you can walk us through it.
if Jessica Reyes Padilla, look, you can't tell me this is not a small waist. This is a tiny
It's
little
tiny,
waist.
tiny hips.
You know,
tiny
she
waist.
did everything she could to beat Sidney Gillen. It's just that the V-taper on Sid is a bit more dramatic.
Chris,
And
so if you can't make your waist physically any smaller, which at some point you can't because it's muscles, it's core, it's bone, the only other thing you can do is do what to make your waist look smaller? Make your upper body look bigger to
Yeah.
taper the waist.
Yeah,
But
you
what does
can-
that do to her look, to have bigger caps and bigger lats?
She can get a little bit more development in her back, and I think that's the last little key she would need to turn to get the title away from this power grip of Sid Gillen. Lola, she's one. She was not close to the two top girls last year. Her posing was a little shaky last year. She was not. I don't think she was actually prepared. I mean, you couldn't have been if you're that shaky, you're that, you know, troubled on the stage. But she still took third.
Yep.
Still took third in the world. She has a new sponsor. She's a Mutant sponsor now, and she will be more prepared this year. And I feel like this is add more stability to your life, and that in turn, that's going to have a great effect to you when you get on stage. But last year it wasn't her year to challenge for the title, but it still held off all the other girls, and that's great for her.
I see that battle of third this year between Lola and Natalia Soltero.
I agree. Chris, I have a question. What can Jessica Padilla do to make her V-taper as dramatic as Sid Gillen?
I mean, it is dramatic, though. It is. Like, her waist is no bigger than this front and back. I mean, when they came here for the battle, I was amazed at how her body looked. It was just like, because I haven't seen her that close and just studied her physique that close. And it's not much bigger than that. So that's her frame that she has already. She used to be a model when she was 21 years old. And to build this body with those shoulders that she has, I think she calmed down on the shoulders a little bit, try to, just revamp the whole look, but a little bit more development in the back. I think that's going to be where she's going to get it. Her legs and everything is fine how it is. I mean, other than that, it's just like two race cars. You got two Formula One cars, and they're going to be racing for the title, but don't think Lola can't get there also.
Well, Tarek, that's one of the things that always gets me at the top level. When you start picking apart minutia, when you start saying, people will go, well, you have to knock the champion out. But you're at this point, you judges at high speed are picking apart rear delts and quad sweep and front, and it can't be easy.
Yeah, I could say that maybe Jessica Padilla's shoulders might be a little bit too prominent. What do you think, Chris?
Yes, I think she knows that, and I think she kind of calmed down on the notion that she needs to get bigger. She's knowing bigger is not going to beat the champion because the champion is a lot smaller than her. She's smaller than most girls up there, and that's why some of the girls is in the 5th and 6th, 7th place. Getting bigger like that is not going to beat the champ, and it's not going to get you closer to the top. You got to get better.
Yep. Guys, it's really shaping up to be a two athlete battle here again, and we've heard you guys say it's Sid's until she doesn't want it. I'm just really curious if anyone can find that magic potion at the top to really make that tight, to make that final two pose down.
Jessica can do it.
Jessica can do it.
Jessica can do it.
It's going to be a battle.
I'm looking forward to it. Well, as always, we covered bikini.
And Mama Sid, I'm going to say hello to Mama Sid, Papa Sid, because they are in her corner. And like I said, the dad used to compete, so she has that in her blood. She was going to competitions when she was little and worked her way up into this dynasty in the figure division.
That's phenomenal. So, as always, we covered bikini, a women's physique, and women's figure. So, covered a lot of ground today, Tarek.
I think so. Great champions.
Great champions. It's going to be an amazing Olympia, but there is
Like
a
and
lot.
comment and share.
Like, comment, and share. There's a lot of shows leading up to this, and we always love to find that person that's going to be the new X Factor. We're curious in the next 3 months who's going to pop out of nowhere and say, all right, I'm a challenger for the big title.
I think so.
Yeah.
Give them a lot of fair play, right, Tarek?
Fair play.
Fair play. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next Primetime Muscle. The real deal.
That's what's up.
Chris Cormier, Tarek Gilgindi, and Tim Wilkins. We'll see you soon.